how do we get started? How would you get started working with your clients in Valur? One important thing to mention here is that we are flexible as to how you use us. We have advisor partners who jump straight into the tools I'm about to show you and use them, educate their clients, get them on board, and implement trusts without us at all. We have other partners who bring us into the fold and who loop us in at some point in what I'm about to show you. We'll talk about that. So Guido, if you click on Get Started there, folks, this is the guided planning tool that we've mentioned, and just click Start Over. The idea here is that we're giving you the tools, and you can certainly share this with your clients. You don't have to. Guido, if you can just show estate tax, click on estate tax and not capital gains. We're going to keep this simple. We're letting you identify the available strategies in each of these buckets so that you can share that with your client, including the education that's necessary. So we're going to speed through this. Guido, if you could put, 500, and if you could put 15 million for the net worth, this is going to be, again, this is a case study using information from a client that we just worked with and an advisor from Morgan Stanley. 500K of income, 15 million of net worth. You can skip the assets for now, Guido, and just go to next. But what we're giving you here is the tools to enter your client's information, and we're going to return to you a curated list of strategies that might make sense. So put age 47. The person was in California. They were married, and they had used some of their lifetime exemption. You can click that toggle. Yep. And what we're doing here, folks, is that we're narrowing this down based on the logic that we've built. This is proprietary. Our estate planning team has built logic here to get you to an answer to a list of, let's say, between 2 and 4 solutions. We don't want to send you a 20-minute list of questions or the client. We want to give you just what we need to get to these answers. So if you click on now publicly traded assets, Guido, alternative assets, go back one, alternative assets as well. Yeah, and then here, 15 million, confirm, that's good, move on. They're planning for their children, grandchildren, and descendants. Great. So what this is saying is that based on that logic and based on the answers you've given us, these 3 solutions are at the top of our list. Now, importantly, there might be 1 or 2 more that would be positive ROI, and we'll show you how to get to those, but we're really trying to give you 2 or 3, just the top of the list, the things that are going to be most valuable to you, because that's where most people start and finish.
Probably also worth mentioning, Jeff, our type of product that we actually do.
This is a good call out, Guido. I'm just going to run through this very quickly, but we work in 4 big categories of tax situation that really cover almost everything individuals are dealing with. Those being ordinary income, capital gains, qualified small business stock planning, which is of course related to capital gains, and then estate tax. So whether your clients are earning money from a W-2 or a business, whether they're selling some appreciated asset as capital gains or selling a small business in QSBS, or they're planning to move assets to the next generation via estate planning, we do have solutions there. Within the estate planning bucket, which is the broadest one and the one with the most solutions, you'll see some of the answers here. We do all kinds of things, really everything that you get from an estate attorney when it comes to planning for the next generation at a high level, we're going to do it. So GRATs, IGITs, crummy trusts, Islets, slats and slants, and I'm sure I missed some, but odds are if you need it and it's in that category, we do it. You can compare these strategies. Again, you can share this with your client if you'd like. You can also use it for yourself to get educated. The point is to set you up and then eventually to set the client up with the tools necessary to say, all right, I think these 1 or 2 things might be what I want to pursue. And then go up, Guido. Importantly, from here, we want to empower you to run the numbers. So click on the compare estate tax savings on the left. This is also a demo account, so it's not going to be perfectly linked up. And if you can just check on IGIT and GRAT. As you can see here, we've baked in the education. You can read more. It'll pull out a drawer with an article. It also copies over the client's information as well as a few assumptions. So if you told us that the client was 47 and from California and $15 million net worth, here it is. You can tweak these assumptions if you'd like, but let's just click on next to see what the output is. And what we're going to give you here is a way to compare those things that you were looking at. This is a comparison between an IGIT and a GRAT. We don't need to get into whether that's the right comparison for you. This is what the system has thrown up. But it's also important that we, at every step, give you the opportunity to do more comparisons if your client asks, or if you decide that you want to look at something. So right here at the top, it says consider adding. The system has suggested that an islet might actually be valuable, even though Guido didn't click on it. So we can click add, and it'll go right in there. You can also, if you go up Guido, you can go back to update a comparison right there, and you can click on other things. You can compare more at the top there in the checkboxes. But if you click out of that, we don't need to add anything more. If you just click out of that, you're going to see a comparison. It's going to be quantitative. And again, the point here is to set you up to help the client. These strategies are almost all going to be positive ROI. And we will, of course, show you if they're not. And I'll show you a case in a minute where they're not. But they're almost always going to be at least one strategy that's going to be positive ROI. And here we're talking about tens of millions of dollars of additional savings. If you click on the comparative data tab, we'll show you that at the longest possible term, which is essentially the actuarial expectation of this client's life, an IGIT is going to earn them an extra 20-something% over doing nothing. In fact, an Islet's going to save them or earn them an extra 35%, an extra $29 million. We find that those green numbers matter a lot to clients. And so getting this in front of them is the best way to move forward. Guido just clicked on the product comparison. The idea here is that, again, we're giving you and the client the ability to look at these things side by side and compare them across the important metrics. And always to read more by reading those articles, which are linked to related FAQs and things like that.